All right, y'all. So I'm gonna be answering the Q&A today. I got the questions pulled up right here, right? So if you don't hear your questions, then I probably made a video on it already, or I made a video on it that I'm gonna release. All right. So the first question, very simple question, is from Jared. It says, "Do I have to eat under 2,000 calories to be in a deficit, or it depends on my height, weight?" That's a very simple answer. It depends on your height, weight, activity level, your age, and the amount of muscle mass that you have. Of course, if you have the most accurate representation, period, out of everything, then all you got to do is get an in-body or a DEXA scan, and it'll give you like your basal metabolic rate, or you can just type it into a calculator to get a rough estimate. What I find, most people above 200, I don't know what your weight is, but most people above 200, if they're to eat, 2,200 calories plus, like, and within that 2,100 to like 2,600 range, they're going to be losing fat, period. Like, from what I've seen. Generally, the biggest factor when it comes to like losing fat is just having more self-awareness regarding food. That's why people who quote unquote don't track calories, they're still very cautious of the foods that they eat. They eat so many, like they eat so much volume and so many leaner foods that they're in a deficit already, right? So you can just type it into a calculator and you'll see that, it's gonna be, depending on your height and weight, it'll be a pretty rough estimate. It might be more than you think it is, but when you start to track food, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, never mind. That's not as much as, I thought it was. All right. Is 100 pounds in 10 months too fast? I don't really care about weight because it's always the context of weight. And at the same time, if you're 400 pounds and you go to 300 in 10 months, that's not really, that's not a big deal. If you go from 300 to 200 and you're like 6 foot, then you might have lost a lot of muscle if it's in 10 months. I would focus on body fat percentage, on losing fat, maintaining strength, so I don't, just have loose skin and not have the physique that I want, right? Because ultimately everyone wants to have that lean physique. So I'll focus on just body fat percentage, take your initial body fat, and then focus on bringing your body fat down, because the weight's gonna go up and down when you're building muscle. A lot of people get too, fixated on the weight on the scale, and it's like, you can lose 100 pounds and just look like a smaller version of yourself with no muscle mass, or you could shed, a lot of fat, maintain your muscle mass, and even gain some muscle, and then you'll have that look that you're going for. Because if you don't have muscle when you lose the weight, right, you're gonna look sloppy. You're not gonna have any aesthetic look. Like, you're not gonna have the shoulder waist ratio. It's gonna be impossible. All right. Next question is, do you ever want to be married or have kids? Oh, fuck no, bro. In this state, in this the way shit's going right now, hell no, bro. Like, the thing is, like, if it was like the 1990s or 2005 or some shit, or if I was my parents, you know what I'm saying? Of course I would get married, because they're in a whole different scenario. But like, a lot of people these days, like, the people who hold on to hope of getting married just haven't met enough chicks. Like I said, between me and my homeboys, bro, like, the amount of chicks that we've seen and we've met and shit like that, and the amount of shit that it's all the same story, like, over and over and over again. And I know people are like, everyone's not the same. Yeah, but like, listen, when you've seen enough shit, when you've seen as much shit as I have, it's like, yeah, I'm good on that, bro. Like, I don't have a plan to, get married. If I accidentally have a kid one day, it might happen. It is what it is. But yeah, I don't plan on getting married, because it's literally just, honestly, the system is so against you when it comes to divorce. Like, it almost incentivizes the woman to get a divorce. Like, if I was a woman and I was with my husband or whatever, and we were happy together, you still, like, with all your friends getting divorced and the system incentivizing divorce and your fear of missing out and your emotional decision making, you're gonna get divorced, because it's a win-win situation to get divorced. Like, for a woman, it just is. Like, until, like, in the short term, obviously, it's like, oh, I get to try, I get to go back to, trying different glizzies or whatever the fuck they be doing, right? And then they get, paid monthly, tax-free. Child support is tax-free. So it's like, it's yeah. And right now with social media, like, a lot of people are like, well, this is that scenario. It's just exposing female nature, like Tom Brady getting cheated on, Travis Hunter getting cheated on, just all these motherfuckers getting cheated on and shit. Just exposing it, because I've dealt with a lot of chicks who have, like, boyfriends, and I literally go out of my way to not try to do that. But also my brothers, my homeboys, they've dealt with chicks that have boyfriends, husbands, long relationships, doing all the rah and all that shit, man. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people just aren't meant to be monogamous, but with social media, it just changed everything. Like, married women and women in relationships in my comment sections, in my DMs, have been going on for the past, how old am I? past 8 years. It's been going on for the past 8 years very, very consistently. And it's like, when it's that consistent, it ends up being not just, 50, not just 100, not just 1,000, not just 10,000. Like, it's thousands and thousands and, just a lot. But my homeboys get the same shit too, so it is what it is. All right, what are the signs I need to progressively overload? Because I can do 12 reps in a previous weight with good form and range of motion, but when I go up 5 pounds to progress, find myself struggling hard to get the weight up. I mean, if you could do, listen, progressive overload, first of all, has been like just the failure in the progressive overload shit has been overcomplicated by TikTok. When you lift weights and you're consistent and you're eating protein, you just get stronger. You just add weight. It's not like super deep. It's just, you're gonna get stronger, you're gonna add weight. It's that simple, right? Now, if you're doing all your reps with, if you're doing like 3 sets of 12 and you're completing all 3 sets with the weight with good form, I would definitely go up by 5 pounds on each side. You could do 5 pounds on each side or 2.5 on each side. Just go up by that. Yeah, it'll be uncomfortable the first time, but then, eventually you'll get used to it. But you shouldn't be struggling. If you're able to do 12 reps, if you're up by 5 pounds, you're not gonna be struggling. That doesn't make any sense. You're not gonna be struggling that much to get the weight up. Like for example, if you're doing 70s on incline dumbbell, and then you go up to 75s, like you did, if you do 4 sets of 12 with 70s on incline dumbbell, and it's, you're getting it done easily, and then you go up to 75s, you should be getting at least the first 2 sets for like 10 to 12. Like it's you're not gonna not be able to get built. That makes no fucking sense. All right. At 5'7", how heavy do you think a person has to be to consider jacked? All right, so here's the thing. That's gonna depend on your body fat percentage. A lot of people have been like hitting me up and been like, yeah, man, I want to lose fat, but I don't want to go below 220. I'm like, you're gonna be fat as fuck at 220, bro. You're not consistent in the gym. You don't have a lot of muscle mass. Number one, and number two, you're between like 5'8" and 5'10". Like 5'8", 220 that's just fat as shit, dude. Unless like I said, you have a lot of muscle, you've been lifting for like 20 years or some shit, and you're in the NFL at age 30 or something. It's just not happening, bro. Unless you're on steroids or something. But you're not gonna be 5'8", 220 lean natural. It's not gonna happen. So I always go by body fat percentages. I know you said you're 5'7". I would say, like, honestly, you probably be lean at like 160, 170, to be honest, depending on how much muscle mass you have. But yeah, people always overestimate because of social media, like how much you're supposed to weigh, because they just follow people who are on steroids and they look at, Jay Cutler. And they're like, well, Jay Cutler's on steroids and he's 300 pounds. Maybe that means I should be 250. Like, no, bro. Like, he's on a lot of steroids. Like, it's just crazy. Could I build a lean physique only hitting the gym 2 to 3 days a week with my nutrition dialed in? Truck driver, only home 3 days a week, eat as clean as possible with slip-ups here and there. So first of all, cut out the slip-ups, because when you're serious about your goals, you cut out the slip-ups. Nutrition is very sensitive. It's not like working out. As far as the working out, I would do like some calisthenics. Like, if you stop at truck stops, do like some calisthenics for like 2 days to bump up your overall days to 5 days, so you can build some more muscle mass, but also have a higher activity level, right? Just to have you moving more. That would be a little bit easier, to be honest. That would be easier to have your activity level high, and then you build a little bit more muscle faster. Because if you have 3 days home and you hit the gym those 3 days, and then you have some, 2 days on the road where you do calisthenics or whatever, it can be 30 minutes, nothing crazy. Or you can just do jump roping just to get your activity level up so you can be burning more fat. That'll definitely help as well. All right, how many days should we be going to gym? I mean, I would say bare minimum 4, just so you can hit everything hard, 4 to 6. But if you go 4 days, then your volume is just going to be higher on each day, versus if you go 6, your volume is going to be a little bit lower to spread it out a little bit. So that's pretty much what you do. Like, if you go 4 days a week, then your intensity is just going to be way higher, but your volume will also be higher. If you go 6 days, you can have high intensity too, but your volume is generally going to be a little bit lower since the frequency is higher. And then as far as, like, I know people said, what's that guy's name? Mike Menser was saying work out 1 to 2 times a week. I mean, he was on steroids. You could work out 0 times a week and take steroids and eat not that healthy, to be honest. Like, I've seen, there's a lot of people that I'm like, yeah, dude, what's your workout routine? You look crazy. And they're just like, nah, bro. I'm like, what does nah, bro mean? They're like, pull me to the side. They're like, I'm on something. I'm like, oh, okay. But how often you work out? They're like, I come in here and do full body, once every other week or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm never gonna look as good as they do, period. So it's like, when people take certain cycles and people mix the right shit, I don't know how that shit works, because I literally don't know anything about the steroid world. But when you mix like the right test and anabolics and shit, and then I don't think it's trend. I think trend makes you crazy. But if you when they mix the right shit, they really don't have to do that much because they have hormones overtake everything else, right? Hormones overtake everything else. If you increase the amount of testosterone you have, and you're eating high protein, I mean, you're gonna look fucking crazy. You're gonna look crazy, and then you're using like NFR. Like I've seen people hop on and they lose unrealistic amounts of fat that if I say, you'll be like, this is not possible. Like literally losing 10 pounds of fat and gaining hella muscle just from taking roids. Like that's what roids could do. So I know you guys see a lot of people on TikTok like, yeah, just do this, that. Everything they say works if you're on roids. Like if you definitely go to failure if you're on roids because you can recover way fucking faster. You're gonna recover way faster than someone who's natural. Your deadlifts help you build an aesthetic physique or mainly. I think for hamstrings, they're really good for building hamstrings. If you rep them out and take them, if you rep them out on back day or you do some rack pulls, that'll help with the Christmas tree as well. I just do deadlifts because they're fun as fuck. And when my testosterone was high as hell, like specifically when I was bulking, bro. Like when I was really building up my deadlift, I was bulking and I would just be like fucking have too much energy and just be just angry as hell and then just lift the weights and that shit would help. And that's the easiest shit to lift is literally deadlifting. That's the funnest shit to do of all time. All right, so next question is book recommendations. I'm gonna stick by the same 3 book recommendations because what I see is that people read books and they don't fucking apply this shit. So that's really the real issue. Like I can list off 30 book recommendations, but it doesn't matter because people never get through the first 3. And if they do get through the first 3, they don't fucking apply any of the shit. Because if they did apply any of the shit, then they would simply go to those same authors and kind of branch off what they do and then, kind of read more of their books. And then they find all the other books as well. Because then Google will be like, whoa, we'll recommend this book. Because Google got your back, bro. But anyways, number 1 book, I would say, of course, it's very applicable. All of these are very related to fitness journey. You got Compound Effect, and then you got Think and Grow Rich, and then you got Outwitting the Devil. Those very, very simple books. If you read those, understand those, apply those, read them again, then there's really nothing else to be said. Like with the Compound Effect, if you apply that shit, you'll be at your fitness goals. You just will. You'll start to go towards your fitness goals. Think and Grow Rich, definitely gonna help you hold yourself more accountable. 100%. Outwitting the Devil is gonna make you more self-aware. It's just, that's how it is. Now, if you don't read those books and you don't apply those books, then nothing I say matters. It's all about reading and applying the books. If worst case scenario, you did not you only read 1 book or you only had 1 book that you could keep rereading, just get you the Compound Effect or Think and Grow Rich and keep reading it over and over again. Like that's all you gotta do and apply this shit. You have to apply this shit. Nobody ever applies the shit that they see in books. That's the real issue, man. That's the real issue. And then someone asked me about chest, like how to grow your chest and flat bench and shit. So the thing is, I also made a video about that. I'll release it. I tried to release it yesterday, but I have music on it. I swear to God, I put the music on it, I put the volume down, and then I downloaded it, and the volume went back up, so it pissed me off. But anyways, as far as growing the chest, it's not flat bench. I'll show you guys the video. It's not just flat bench because I got to 4 or 5 flat bench, and I didn't have Alex Eubank chest. I didn't have a great chest at all. You see what I'm saying? I just pretty much had some lower outer chest until I really started working at Incline Smith and all that other shit, right? So as far as chest, progressive overload, hypertrophy, it's gonna be more important. Obviously, strength is important as well, but hypertrophy and your rep ranges and your exercise selection is gonna be more important. Anyways, peace out. Someone asked me about why did I move to Thailand. I'll make a video on that. I'll make a video on that, like a whole video on that, like the pros and cons and stuff like that. So let me know if you guys want to see that too, or if you guys have some more. If you guys have some more questions after watching this, then just link them down below, and I'll probably do like another Q&A. But I am starting my lean bulking series pretty soon. My lean bulking is just gonna be eating at maintenance, so which is basically for me that'll be fucking bulking. Basically, like eating at my new maintenance, that'll be close to lean bulking. But yeah, link is in the description for workouts. You feel me? For workout plan and for one-on-one coaching. Obviously, only if you're locked in. And like I said, I'm also going to start the school for personal branding because personal branding definitely is changing. Because I've literally been posting on social media since 2017, and it's definitely way different now. It's like views aren't as important as they used to be, which is weird. But then again, it's because they changed the algorithm. Anyways, y'all stay blessed.